Executive and Finance meeting to order for January 22nd. Councilman Poindexter, can you do the invocation, please?
Father, thank you for this time of fellowship together. Lord, thank you for families and communities to have a safe time out there this week. And we pray that we may all come together and for the betterment of the Cherokee people, Father, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Shelley, can you do the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Joshua Sam.
Here.
Kevin Easley. Here. Sasha Black Fox Qualls. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates. Here. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Here. Lisa Hall. Here. Johnny Kidwell. Here. Daryl Legg. Here. Dora Petskowski. Here. Cody Poindexter. Mike Shambaugh. Melvina Shotpouch. E.O. Smith. Here. Condessa Teehee. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Shelley. Has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from the December 12th meeting? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? All right, that passes. Let's jump into our reports. With CMB, we have CEO Chuck Garrett with us.
Thank you, Counselor. Good to be with you all this afternoon and amongst all this rain and ice and what have you. Really pleased to be able to report this, but our first quarter for fiscal year 24, we are 25% above our budgeted net income. Strong on the top line, but I'll tell you, when I was with you last meeting, I was talking about inflation and cost of running our business going up, cost of goods sold getting away from us. So we really have been very mindful of expense management. So these haven't been coming out of our employees' pockets. This isn't a salary reduction. This isn't, any concentrated effort to manage that. But really, administrative services, a lot of just variable and fixed expenses that we could influence. Feeling very pleased with our team in how we've done that. Like I said, the revenues have been very strong. Each of the business units' cash flow is strong. Of course, gaming and hospitality, we now, in your reports that you have incorporated gold strikes. You're seeing the impact there. Also, in our federal contracting, while the revenues were off somewhat as compared to last year, that was primarily because last year at this time we had some extraordinary contracts that weren't really part of our base business, but we had been pursuing. They were sort of like, swinging for the fences, and we happened to hit a couple of them that really showed up on our performance in a very strong way. So very, very pleased with both of our business units and their performance. Of course, we continue to look for opportunities to diversify. That's central to our growth strategy. We're looking for investments that in industries that make sense. Those are things we'll continue to study. I mean, in 24, those will not probably manifest in some sort of large acquisition, although that could change. But, we're continuing to do our work and study and strategy around some industries that we think have long-term impact to diversification efforts and the growth to sustain and grow the dividend we're able to provide. So that's really the long and short of what the state of your businesses are, and happy to answer any questions.
All right, do we have any questions for Mr. Garrett? Doc?
Just Chuck, what's your observation on the new Hard Rock property along the Red River?
Yeah. I think it's kind of a no big deal to us, and I'll tell you why. That appears to be a licensing arrangement with an individual in Oklahoma City to build a hotel that the Hard Rock is being paid to brand as a Hard Rock. It's a similar arrangement to what we have with Hard Rock International, which is the Seminole tribe in Florida. In our arrangement, of course, we've got the casino and the hotel. There's marketing, joint marketing efforts. There are brand standards that we meet. In fact, we're one of the leading Hard Rocks in the world, and so we have a very good relationship with the Seminoles and the ownership of Hard Rock International. There was a Chicago Hard Rock hotel. I think it subsequently closed. So they have, little cafes and restaurants and hotels across the globe. So this one happens to be near a Chickasaw casino, a small Chickasaw casino. I spoke with the Chickasaw business leadership last week to discuss this, and they're still trying to learn more too. They were not involved in that licensing arrangement. We have a geographic restriction that Hard Rock International cannot license a property within a certain radius of our hotel and casino. This is outside of that. We're not seeing it being a particular impact.
So it doesn't have any tribal fingerprints on it?
No, it does not. Yeah, I mean, our original thought was it might be the Seminoles themselves trying to position on the other side of the lake, the south side of the lake, for the eventual, and some would say imminent, legalization of gaming in Texas. Does not appear to be the case, and so we're not really seeing it being a big factor.
Okay, thank you, Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions for Mr. Garrett? Johnny?
Mr. Garrett, thank you for being here today. Always good to see you. I just wanted to make a quick comment on an email that you sent out to us not too long ago, and thank you very much for working on the veterans parking at all of our facilities, our establishments. 84 parking spaces for veterans in total of all our properties.
Right.
Very much appreciated. I know our veterans will appreciate it, and as a veteran myself, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, and thank you for inspiring the idea, because it was a heck of a good idea, and our team has worked very hard. It's these things take a little more time when they're measuring twice and cutting once, but I'm pleased with the product that the team came up with, and I think there was a lot of thought given to it. So thanks for the idea, and I think you're right. I think it'll be a welcomed addition to our arrangement there.
Yeah, it sure does, and it for everyone else, it also includes the Gold Strike location as well. So it's great for those folks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
You bet. This will be at Hard Rock, all the Cherokee casinos, Gold Strike as well as our golf courses. And I just spoke with Ms. Jarvis yesterday, or actually this morning, and we're going to be looking to incorporate that in our cultural sites as well. So we'll get a plan together for that as well.
Awesome. All right, Speaker?
Where'd you say this land was, by the Red River?
Where the Hard Rock is?
Yes.
It's by Lake Texoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's down in Lake Texoma. There are many, but there one in particular, Crescent Point or something along those lines, and it's a planned unit development with single-family residences. The Chickasaws have a small casino nearby, and then there'll be this to-be-developed hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, sir.
All right, any more questions for Mr. Garrett?
Hi, thanks. I have a really general inquiry that was made to me that Gold Strike has not said anything about our ownership. See if they will do more for the Cherokees.
Okay.
Can you,
Yeah.
can you just give kind of a general update that I can?
Yeah,
Take on?
well, it's an interesting comment, because, we, of course, are down there frequently, and there is not one single employee you talk to that doesn't know who owns them. They will all have had that training, have had that reinforcement that the Cherokee Nation businesses is their shareholders. So there's no mistaking about that. You know, the Gold Strike, if you will, the brand itself, the decor, it doesn't yet share some of the traditional culture and art that we have on the reservation properties. I think over time, there'll be opportunities to incorporate that. One of the things that we were very mindful of is you have a long history, that property has a long history in that market, and we have some very loyal customers that they like to see what they have seen, you know, and change is something you like to introduce slowly to your customer who has alternatives. You know, they don't like what you're doing, they can turn around and go somewhere else. So we try to be very thoughtful about incorporating change. And the other thing I'd point out, we share a loyalty card, which has Cherokee on it. I mean, it's that got you know, our seven, you know, our star, and you know, so there's plenty of reminders. So if there's any more specifics on that, I'm sure we'd be happy to address them. But I think you all would be pleased. Thank you. You bet. Pleasure.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Garrett? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. And just one thing, at your, if you all would like, and Mr. Chair, if you would care, some upcoming E&F committee meeting, if there would be an opportunity for me to bring one or two of my colleagues to share with the committee our current recruitment strategies and efforts,
Yes.
you know, regarding Cherokee candidates in particular, both on reservation and at large. We'd love to do that. I think you've seen, maybe you've seen that, and a couple of you have seen that in the past. It's pretty comprehensive with the technology we're using and some of the other strategies. So I'd love to share with you guys.
We'd love to have that.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Oh, speaker?
No problem.
Anything new on Arkansas?
Well, thanks for bringing it up. I kind of meant to mention it this evening. Wednesday, I'll be there with Mark Fulton, president of our Cherokee Nation Entertainment, and our attorneys and our lobbyists, and the Arkansas Racing Commission has a meeting on Wednesday morning, I believe at 11. On the agenda is a discussion about Polk County gaming license. It's very general. We don't know exactly what all that means, but the Racing Commission chairman, Alex LeBlanc, has said in the press that he's and on his meeting last week, that he's welcoming some input from the Attorney General, Arkansas Attorney General, and his staff to discuss the ways forward. I don't want to mischaracterize Mr. LeBlanc's statement, but in the press, it's to the effect that, you know, we're interested in getting this thing done. So that's, of course, music to our ears. And I think what this all means is there'll be a discussion, he's not entertaining input from the public, but he's requesting input from the Attorney General in his team. And there'll be discussion around, do you open up an application period now? If so, you know, what does that look like? Are there any rule changes that are necessary? Or just, you know, the best way to move forward? And so we'll be there to have an opportunity to share our points of view there, both within the meeting and outside of the meeting. So,
Okay, thanks, sir.
you bet. My pleasure.
Any other questions? All right, we're good. Thank you,
All
sir.
right, thank you.
All right, let's move on over to Treasurer Janice Taylor with the financial report.
Good afternoon, Council. It's good to be back with you all again after the holidays. You do have a copy of my report, and there are just a few things that I wanted to add that have either happened subsequent to the report or just that I've run across in some kind of end-of-year data analysis that I have done. One thing is our audit is in full swing, and we will have that to you by March 31st. That is in our Constitution, that we have to have it done and delivered by that date. And as I have worked with other tribes, I find that that is not so with every tribe. I am amazed when maybe we're going to work with a tribe and I'll ask for a copy of their audit and they'll say, well, we're still working on our FY21 audit. And I'm thinking, who even remembers what happened that long ago?
Yeah.
And we are always excited to, number one, have confirmation of the quality of work that comes out of your Office of Financial Resources, and to get recommendations from our auditors on how we can better serve Cherokee citizens, this body who administers the funds that we have, and also make sure that we're being as transparent as possible with our grants. And so it's kind of like the culmination of all the work we do all year long. So we're always kind of excited about that. We are still processing approximately 400 individual assistance applications a month. This number kind of surprised me. That is the $2,000 that we announced back in 2021, and I was kind of surprised when I started looking at the end-of-year numbers on those that there are still that many of them. So that's about $800,000 a month, give or take, going out to individual citizens for those. For calendar year 2023, we did $20,442,000. $20,442,000 in individual payments still going out. So that was a little bit surprising to me. Those are kind of winding down from a height early in the year of over 1,000 a month to averaging about 400 now, but it's still significant. And then the Angel Tree donations, I think I mentioned when I was with you all in December, but it was still fairly early in the month, that I was just amazed at the number of donations that were coming through the portal. This is on the Cherokee.org page that says Give to Cherokee Nation. For calendar year 2023, we had 751 total donations come through that portal. Now, we get donations every week. A lot of them will be for other things, like in memory of somebody, and it's just a general donation. Of those 751 donations, 603 of them for Angel Tree. So you know that those came in between the Angel Tree announcement and the end of December. So that has just been a windfall for us. And to put this in perspective, in the calendar year of 2022, the total number of donations that came through the portal were 204 for any purpose. So it was over 3 times that amount, and that was just surprising to me. I think it has to do with the general outreach that the at-large counselors have done and that Chief Hoskin has done, trying to make sure that the at-large members feel very connected. And just the implementation of the Gadugi portal has made citizens much more engaged. And that was another thing that I wanted to bring up is some of you will remember, some of you will not. Prior to the pandemic, we did everything on paper. If you wanted to apply for food distribution, here's a form, fill it out. And that is one good thing that came out of the pandemic, is we're doing as much as we can via the portal, which is reaching a lot more people. So we're seeing record applications for all of our programs, and that's just exciting to me. And then the last thing I want to bring up is you all probably saw that the federal government has passed yet another continuing resolution to kick their work down the road for another 60 days. We're funded into March. Now, for Cherokee Nation, that has very little effect on us because we've played this game for a number of years. We know they're never going to settle on it at one time and be done for it, but it makes me even more thankful for this council who will get together over the course of 2 or 3 days, sometimes in one day, and settle on our path forward, knowing that we do a budget mod every month. This doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all. So anyway, I thank you guys for your cooperation when it comes to doing the budget, because we get in here, we've got a job to do, we get it done. There's not a whole lot of fighting about it. We know ultimately the Cherokees that are out there are what we're here for. So that's all that I have. Do you all have anything for me?
Any questions for Treasurer? Cody?
I know I've already told you, but I just wanted to say it again in front of everyone. Thank you for helping me out with that one financial situation. It was kind of a unique deal. I wasn't sure who to turn to, but I think y'all handled it great, and just thank you for you and your team. So.
Well, and I actually thank you for bringing that up, because we don't know there's a problem until we know there's a problem. So I tell you guys this every time. Call me anytime. I'm happy to help, even if it's not necessarily resting in my department. I'm happy to help. And in this case, it was an issue that was very uncommon, but it was ongoing. And so we have a better path forward for dealing with that going forward. So in return, I thank you for calling it to my attention. All right.
Any other
That's
questions? All right.
I'll bail out. Thank you,
Thanks so
guys.
much.
Call me anytime.
All right, let's move on over. Do we have someone here for Miss Diane Kelly with Career Services? Nope, Hunter.
Good afternoon, Council, Chair. It's good to see you guys again today. You guys have my report, and a couple things I just want to highlight is the last, kind of wrapping up the last bit of calendar year, we went out and did some, we've got a lot of strategic business partners out in the communities that really work with us with hiring our Cherokee citizens, especially those that have barriers to employment. And so we went out and recognized a few of our key OJT partners out in the region, went out and showed some appreciation to them. Also, we tried to do our best to get out into community meetings to share what we're doing with career services and the program services that we offered for, the career service department, and to make sure the people in your communities know kind of the services that we can provide to them. Another couple things too is if you get to the TANF jobs area, just want to give a shout out to all of our TANF team that really stepped up to provide additional services throughout the holidays for the TANF family. You can see there where they provided a number of holiday packets and projects to over 223 TANF families, and then also we collected donations for toys and gifts to be able to provide 200 TANF children with some of those that may have missed the Angel Tree deadline or may not have qualified for the Angel Tree. And so just a shout out for that team and what they're doing with those to assist those TANF families. So without that, I'd answer any other questions you guys may have.
Do we have any questions for Hunter? All right, looks like a great report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on over to the Commerce Department. We have Mr. Stephen Hires.
Hello, it's good to be here with you all today. Anna sends her regards. She's unable to make it, but you do have her report. The only thing that I would like to highlight is I brought the VITA paper and I passed it around to you all before the meeting. You all should have got that on the email. The only update between the email and here is one of the addresses in Stillwell has been updated on this paper, and so we can get that PDF out to you with that update as well. But VITA has kicked off. We started taking appointments on the 16th. All of the locations are done by appointment. And then except here in Tahlequah, on Wednesday and Thursday, we do accept walk-ins as well. So if they can't get an appointment anywhere else, they can always come to Tahlequah and do a walk-in. The income has risen a little bit this year. They're able to, as long as they're 64,000 and under, they're able to take advantage of our services. Last year, we did just over 1,200, and so we hope to do even more this year, and we're available to do so. So if you all have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them or take them back to Anna to get you an answer.
All right, do we have any questions for the Commerce report? All right, looks like a great report. Thank you, sir.
All right, you all have a good evening.
All right, let's move on over to the consent items. Has everyone had a chance to review those? All right, Jody, you have anything to add?
No.
All right. We'll move on over to old business, none pending. New business, Councilman Easley, can you take that first one for us?
Yes, sir. This is an act amending Legislative Act Number 21-23, authorizing the comprehensive capital budget for fiscal year 2024, Mod 2, and declaring an emergency, and I put this in the form of a motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this item? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, this motion passes. Number two, Speaker Shambaugh, can you take that one, please?
Yes, Chair. This is an act amending Legislative Act Number 22-23, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2024, Mod 4, and declaring an emergency, and I put that in the form of a motion.
All right, have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion for this mod? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, this motion passes.
Josh,
All right,
I
Jody.
just wanted to say, I noticed you probably noticed that you didn't have your budget mods in the packet. I tested positive on the week of the mailing, so I had to wait until the next week to get in and do that. So that's the reason why it came out late and emailed and everything. So first time I've missed the mailing, so wanted to kind of update you on that. One other thing, Treasurer was talking about the federal budget. One thing that, I'm trying to stay unpolitical here, but a quote this last year was that we reduced the federal deficit more than any other president ever has. And people were like, how's that possible? Well, there's difference between a deficit and debt. The deficit is how much you're going in overspending for the year. And of course, yeah, if you reduce you overspent $2 trillion this year and you're going to $1.5 trillion, you reduce the year-to-year deficit by $0.5 trillion, but you still went in debt $3.5 trillion. So that's just kind of a play on words, that difference between deficit and debt that I've been asked about before. So just wanted to kind of bring that up. So
Thanks, sir.
so we do not run a deficit nor a debt. So so our Constitution does not allow us to run a deficit for the year. So anyway, just want to bring that up.
All right, thank you, Jody.
Okay.
All right, do we have any announcements?
I think Jody just described to me what my wife's been trying to tell me for a long time.
No. All right. Oh, Corey, our Chief of Staff.
Good evening again, council. I have a quick announcement from Mr. Dan Carter, board member of the Cherokee Nation Businesses. You guys, I'm sure, know Dan. He's a great guy. He does a lot of things in the communities, but on this announcement, he's working with a group, the American Legion Group, and he's seeking nominations from every council member to nominate for the Oklahoma Girls State. The girls must be a high school junior this year, and he would like to have those nominations sometime in February, if that's possible. Every council member gets to nominate one high school girl, and the thing will be this summer. It's a 1-week-long program focused on leadership, of course, and then later in the year there'll be a boys' state, and he'll be seeking nominations again. But If you council members could each nominate that person and send it to Gail, she'll collect those and send them over to Dan and Cherokee Nation Businesses. Thank you, Mr. Garrett. If those girls are selected, we'll sponsor those girls in their attendance
Okay,
this
awesome.
coming year.
Can you send that
Sure will.
notification to Gail to send out to us so we can be
Certainly will,
remembered?
certainly will. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Corey. All right, any other announcements? All right, the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, February 29th at 3 PM. I need a motion for adjournment. Motion, second. All in favor? Motion passes. We're adjourned.